What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is going to be your review for the Real Housewives of Miami, Season 5, Episode 9. So, we start this episode off, and let me tell you something. I told y'all in the last review that I didn't see it for Marisol last season, but baby, I am loving Miss Marisol this season. And Marisol went to go visit Lisa, and let me tell you something. Marisol gave Lisa the conversation that Lisa needed to have, right? It was loving, but it was stern. And she said, listen, girl, Lenny is a jerk. And what Lenny did to you is messed up. However, you got to get it in gear. You have to play offense. You have to get your mind right, and you have to get yourself together so that you can take care of business. And Lisa was real too. Lisa said, look, I don't know anything other than this man. Most of my adult life has been him. She said, and I was ready to go to the end with him. She said, I hate him, but I'm still in love with him at the same time. And Marisol said, exactly. Like, that's understandable. Like, I get it. Like, I get it. She said, but here's the other thing. Look at me. Look at Alexia. Did you ever think that you would see us get remarried? She said, all of us have been through it, and look at us now. And at first I thought she might have been talking about financially, because both of them are doing pretty good financially. But she was saying, she wasn't necessarily talking finances. She was like, look, we both remarried and we're good. Like, we came out on the other side and we're good. You know, at the end of the day, it hurts. Like, it's real and it hurts. But you got to get it together. Like, you got to get your head out the fog. You got to stop waiting. She said, I keep waiting for him to snap out of it. She said, understandable. But you got to plan for that not to happen. And that was a real conversation, because she didn't fuss at her. She didn't call her stupid. She validated her feelings. She said, listen, you're not crazy. You're not stupid for wanting him to come home, for feeling like, you know, that you want your husband and you want to go back to where you were a month ago or 2 months ago or 6 months ago. You're not crazy for that. But as your friend, I'm here to say to you, we can't wait for that to happen. We got to plan for where we are right now. And get yourself a lawyer and start getting your ducks in a row. Now, she didn't say that, I said that, but that's probably what she said when the camera stopped rolling, okay? So then we see Alexia and her son, Frankie. They're going, she's going to be hosting an opening for a friend of hers who makes designer handbags, who is opening up a store in like the fashion district, like over by Louis Vuitton and Gucci and all of that. And the charity that she's chosen is a charity that is for people like Frankie who have some sort of injury or some sort of, you know, she said exceptional needs. I like the way she worded it. She said, my son has exceptional needs. And I like that. But to help him become more independent. And she said this organization saw last season, saw the argument that she had with Todd and, you know, about Frankie and how they're not helping Frankie be independent enough. Like, yes, you've done a great job. You've been a great mom. But he needs more, and he needs more help. And, you know, they reached out to her and said, listen, we know you want more. We know you want him to be more independent and be in a better space, but you may not know how. You may not have it may not know the resources or have the resources or know who you can reach out to. And so they reached out to her. And so Frankie now has a life coach that helps him twice a week, that comes and sits with him and helps him develop skills and helps him learn things. He's like taking like classes online and doing different things that's helping him become more mature. And I again, this was a great episode. It wasn't a lot of action till like towards the end, but I loved it because I thought we got some real human interest in this, right? It can't always be drama and BS. Sometimes we got to get to some human stuff. And these first two scenes were absolutely beautiful. And actually, the third and fourth scene was too. This was a really really good episode. It really was. The second episode, the next two scenes were the let me make sure my house is good because I don't want to end up like Lisa scenes. So we see Julia planning date night for Martina. And she went and cooked the first meal that she ever cooked for Martina when they were dating in Paris. Um, and she set up, candlelight and rose petals out on the pier overlooking the water, and she got Martina down there. She told Martina that she needed help with one of the animals. And this is how you know that this is just how they live. Martina was like, like, okay, here I come. Like, Martina wasn't like, what is she talking about? You could just tell this is just they normal. All right, let me come down there and help you figure out what's going on with one of the kids, And she overcooked the fish, right? So she was so upset because, when you do something like that, you want it to be perfect. She looked really nice. She had on this beautiful dress, and it was a beautiful moment. But Martina came out there and she said, does this look familiar? And Martina was like, it's the first meal you ever cooked me. So she immediately knew what it was. And then she said, well, the fish is a little overcooked. She said, it's not about that. It's about the effort. And I was like, yes, Martina, yes. And so she tried it. And she tried the fish and she said, the asparagus are really good. And then she tried this fish and she said, the ginger, you got that? It's good. Like, it was like, I'm going to find something nice to say. But they had a really nice, honest conversation. And Julia said, listen, I feel like with everything that has gone on, these last couple of months, and with everything that happened with Lisa, I don't want to be Lisa. I don't want to be blindsided. I don't want to be divorced. She said, so you tell me what is it that I need to do to make sure that I don't end up where Lisa is? And, Martina told her, she said, listen, I want you to come with me. I want you to come to Aspen with me. I want us to travel and do things together. And, Julia was like, she said, well, I don't know. She said something along the lines of she didn't say no, but you could tell she wasn't excited to go to Aspen, She said, I love to ski. I love going. She said, well, but I want you there with me. And she said, well, you sure you don't, something about one of your little ski bunnies or something. And she said, listen, I don't care nothing about none of that. She said, I go to Aspen to ski. I don't care about nobody else that's there, but I want you to come with me. And so it was a good, and again, it was an honest conversation where she was like, listen, this is what I want from you. Like, I'm here, I'm cool with with all the damn animals and the farm and stuff, but I do want you to come with me. I want to share these experiences with you. And now that the kids aren't here, you don't have to worry about making sure they're at school and all those things that might have prevented you from traveling before. You don't have them anymore. And so I thought it was a good moment. And she said, listen, we fight and we argue, but I ain't going nowhere. I said, yes, Martina, yes. She said, I ain't going nowhere. She said, I love you. And then, they were kind of having a moment, they were walking back to the house, sort of dancing. And Julia said, well, what was your favorite part of the night? And she said, this one right here. I said, this is beautiful. This is so beautiful. Oh my gosh, I was so here for it. And then we have Gertie with her husband. And Gertie treated her husband out, same thing. She had, she took him to the beach where they had been engaged, where they got engaged, and they had like lunch, out by the beach. She had it all set up real nice. They had wine and they had a picnic on the beach, child. But they had little chairs set up. And I'm sure that this was like production engineered, but I appreciated it because again, Gertie again was saying, listen, I don't want to be Lisa. So I need to check in with my husband because my career is going boop, 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 boop. And I just want to make sure that we're good. And her husband said, listen, you shut down. He said, I know that you're busy. You got the business and I'm here for it and I support it. But at the end of the day, when it's time, when you come home, you shut down. Like, you don't really, spend a lot of time. We don't do game night like we used to. We don't do a lot of things that we used to do with the kids. And Gertie said, I sort of took for granted because we have boys and y'all have so much in common as far as, both of y'all. I mean, the three of y'all like the Star Wars and y'all have sports and stuff. And she said, if I had a girl, it'd be a no brainer. But sometimes I feel like I'm an odd man out with you guys because you guys know how to talk to each other. You guys know how to, kind of connect. And she said, but you're right. I need to be more present and I need to work at it. I can't take the easy way out and just say, oh, well, your dad can do it. Oh, your dad can do it. Your dad can do it. And so I thought that was cool. Again, I thought that I thought those were two really good scenes and really good moments. So then we have Julia taking Adriana down to the place to go get her BBL. It's a non-surgical one, so she just got a couple of injections, and I guess she just has to kind of stay, off her butt. I don't know. Um, but so we saw that, and it was okay. It was a moment. Marisol and Alexia go out to dinner, and they're talking about Lisa, and they actually end up running into some friends of theirs who brought Lisa up, and Alexandra, I mean Alejandra. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Alexandra. Why I can't get her name right now? Y'all know who I'm talking about. Alexia. Lord, I couldn't get her name right. But she said, she said, I feel so bad for Lisa because look at this. The two of us are just sitting here trying to have dinner. And, two of our really good friends, they come up to us and they're talking about Lisa. It's all in the press. It's all in the news, about Lisa and her, her divorce and everything. And I just feel so bad for her because, she said, I love the way she said it. She said, Miami's a big city, but it's a small town. And I knew I understand exactly what she's saying. And I just felt really bad for, understanding that. And so Marisol kind of told, she kind of told her about the conversation she had with Lisa. But I think either they had a longer conversation, outside of the cameras, or they edited some stuff out. But what Marisol ended up saying to Alexia, and I believe, and I'm 100% in agreement that there may have been, that there were probably signs. Things haven't been good. Lisa had her head in the sand, thought it would go away, thought it would get better, thought they would work through it. And ultimately, that's not what ended up happening with her and Lenny. Like, and Lenny may have even said, Lisa, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want this anymore. And Lisa was like, he's just going through a phase. He's just having a moment. He'll be okay. But I agree when, Alexia said, I think Lisa knew. She didn't want to accept it. She didn't want to believe it. But I think Lisa knew before Lenny said, I'm done. And most of us know. Like, we know the feeling. We know the signs. We feel it before we truly accept it. So, and I appreciate the fact that her friends were, like, loving her, but still seeing the reality of, yeah, Lenny is still a jerk for the way he handled it. But I do think Lisa had some notice, right? So then we get to the opening of the opening of the purse store. I'm sorry. And Nicole rides with Gertie, right? And on the way there, Nicole says to Gertie, she said, I really want to try to get to know Larsa better. She said, but something that she does that sort of, I've noticed, she said, every time me and her get into this argument, and she sort of throws in my face, well, you were married to the teacher. Well, isn't your ex-husband a teacher? Like, you can't possibly understand what we're talking about because you were married to a teacher. And Nicole was like, she doesn't do that to Gertie. She said, it's only me. She doesn't do it to you and say, oh, you are married to the fireman. And so she said, I feel like it's sort of personal, and I'm not really sure where that's coming from. So, of course, they get to the event, and, Lisa, on her way there, they find out that the new girlfriend has been talking to the press, and she basically said, I'm not the reason why they're getting divorced. Like, don't put that shit on me. I ain't had nothing to do with it. And so they were like, how dare she? Like, who? How dare she speak to the media? Like, that is so not her place. Like, you may not necessarily be a home wrecker, but you might want to sit this one out. Like, you, girl, girl. So of course they're talking about that. You know, the ladies are talking about that, and Lisa is calling Lenny, and they get into a really big fight on her way there. He tells her "F you," and she was like, "F me, F you too." And then later on, he's texting her about going grocery shopping. What is wrong with this man? Like, he really, it's something. So then Nicole and Larsa start having a conversation. And Nicole says to Larsa, look, I want us to be friends. Like, I want us to build a friendship, but I'm just not sure, you know, because I feel like she used the example of the teacher. She was like, I feel like it's a dig. I feel like it's your way of kind of coming at me, and I'm just not sure where that's coming from. I'm not sure where that energy's coming from. And Larsa was like, do you know who I was married to? Do you know who I was married to? And I'm like, oh, so she did mean it the exact way that Nicole felt she meant it. Like, you can't possibly understand our issues and our problems because you were married to a teacher. And y'all know I'm a teacher, right? So I understand what Larsa is saying, but that don't make it less offensive, okay? Because divorce is divorce. Like, a broken heart is a broken heart. Now, I know that some divorces are bigger than others because there's more money involved. Prenup, no prenup, kids, no kids, how old are the kids, property, no property, businesses, no. I get all of that. But don't take away my experience because it's not on the level you think is that equals Lisa's. A broken heart is a broken heart, whether you in a mansion or a shack, okay? So they end up getting into an argument. So then Larsa starts talking about, well, you said some hurtful things to me. Like, why would you say that I can't come to your house until you know who I am? Like, what do you think? That was hurtful to me. Listen, outside of the situation that y'all are filming a whole TV show, anybody else in a normal situation that meets somebody for the first time and you don't know them and you don't know nothing about them, you are very cautious about who you invite into your home. I know everybody can't come to my house, and it ain't even about me having material possessions. It's just about having somebody in my space. It's about whether I want that person to know where I live, much less be able to come in, much less see what I have going on. You understand what I'm saying? It's about the spirit. It's about what people bring into your home, like spiritually as well as just physically. No, ma'am. So again, she was like, but I've known these ladies for 10 years. Okay, but I don't know you. And that's what Nicole was like. Nicole was like, I didn't mean anything by it, but girl, I didn't know you. So I don't understand what the problem is. Like, why were you offended by that? So then she calls Marisol over. Now, Marisol, I've been rocking with you, girl. You know I've been rocking with you. But she gonna bring Marisol over, and Marisol gonna say, well, you know, I was a little taken aback when you said that about Larsa not coming to your house. Says the woman that only lets them film in her pool house. Girl, we have not seen Marisol's house in last season or this season. You film in your guest house, pool house, and I ain't mad at you for it, because if you got it, I ain't mad about it. But don't sit here, and to me that's a little hypocritical, Marisol, because we ain't been in the big house. We have not been in the big house. Y'all know we've been in that damn pool house all season. And so I didn't think it was anything offensive by it. I honestly did not think it was anything offensive by it. But Larsa took it offensive. So then she gonna tell Nicole, well, you're fake. I just think you're fake. And then she gonna like literally in the next breath say, I think we could be friends. Girl, what? We can't be friends? You just called me fake. You just said you think I'm fake. And that's exactly what Nicole said. Nicole said, see, that's what I'm talking about. How we gonna be friends and you literally just said I'm fake? Well, Larsa talking about, well, I want to try to work this out. I want to try to figure this out. Girl, no. We ain't working nothing out. We ain't figuring nothing out. No. And that's where I bid you adieu. Anyway, child, I think I spilled over into the next episode because I think that argument actually takes place in the next episode. But we'll pick up where we left off at the argument, child. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.